Welcome, light workers, people seeking abundance and equality, living on high positive vibrations. I want to discuss the spiritual misalignment of exploitation, particularly in the business world. And this will be a video that is seeking to not only uplift you, inspire you, but to also create a paradigm shift across, I don't know, the nation, the world. I'm going to be spiritually guided here. In fact, I will edit it only because at some moments when I'm going through my notes here, I may need to pause and get more guidance or take my time. And instead of having you patiently sit through those moments, I may just, pause and edit out those pieces. So with that said, I'd like to start with talking about how the energy exchange in the workplace is spiritual. It's not just financial. So yes, money is energy, and our output as employees is energy, but it all harkens back to spirituality in more ways than we know, in more ways than I think has ever been considered. So when the higher ups, and when I say the higher ups, I mean CEOs, business owners, especially like, these corporate empires, the heads of those empires, I'm really speaking about the ones at the top. When they benefit disproportionately from the ideas and the energies of the employees, it creates an imbalance. And spiritually, we know that balance and fairness are vital for harmony in the universe. So what's done in one company truly affects what's done in the city, in the state, in the country, in the world. So the energetic impact of exploitation is when individuals are undervalued or exploited, it leads to feelings of resentment, burnout, disconnection, and lowering the vibration of the workplace and society as a whole. So as I said, what's done in a business affects the city, affects the state, the country, and so on. Has a reverberating effect. So we need to shift our minds and allow a new paradigm, a new way of thinking when it comes to leadership and businesses. We need to shift the focus from ego to heart. The corporate world often operates from ego. It's driven by power, greed, and control. But there is a global shift, a spiritual shift happening where heart-centered leadership is emerging. Leaders who operate from a place of love, compassion, and fairness are the ones who will bring about lasting change and will end up being the leaders in society. That's what we're moving toward now. There are companies and movements already embracing this shift, where workers are seen as valuable co-creators rather than just resources. These conscious businesses are known as progressive businesses, and they operate in alignment with spiritual principles like fairness, mutual respect, and shared abundance. So there are some examples of these companies like Ben & Jerry's, The Body Shop, Zappos. They're heart-based companies awakening. The CEOs have seemed to be like in an awakened state. But I would say that there's more. There's much more that they can do. They're considered progressive and heart-based, but we really need more of a spiritual shift than just tweaking the regular or the normal or the same old business model. It's time for a real awakening where everyone is paid equally, you know. And you may say, well, surely you don't mean a CEO would get paid the same as the cook? Or surely you don't mean the person that's cleaning up the offices after hours would get paid the same as the management? And I say, yes, I do. Energy is energy. People are putting in their work, whether it's physical, mental, intellectual. And I would say that it takes those mental and intellectual skills and strengths and abilities are also utilized in cleaning and cooking. So, but even if you wanted to, you know, take it from the old fashioned or the traditional way of thinking of those roles, it's still an output. So it deserves an input, a give and take. We have to stop thinking in an hierarchical way where one level is more senior, is more important, is more valuable. And it's not the case. It's just not the case. And I think that we all play a role in encouraging that mindset or doing away with that mindset. So we need to strive toward or encourage or walk in a mindset of abundance for all. Spiritually, abundance is meant to flow freely to everyone. When companies or leaders hoard wealth and resources, they block the natural flow of abundance. This not only harms employees, but also the companies themselves in the long run, as misalignment leads to stagnation and loss, especially as we move forward toward this age of Aquarius, and leaving the top-down structures and distorted masculine structures behind us. And that is happening. There is no way around it. There's no way to stop it. It is happening. So it's kind of like a moment where you get on board and thrive, or you just keep trying to survive as is and eventually fall to the wayside because the old way is no longer going to be. Co-creation versus extraction. We are all co-creators in this universe. When higher-ups benefit from the ideas and energy of employees without proper compensation or recognition, they are operating from a model of extraction rather than co-creation. Spiritually, co-creation is the highest form of work. It's collaborative, mutually beneficial, and rooted in respect and equality. And that is the way we are going. We're moving to a more collaborative, mutually beneficial society, and that's give and take. That's actually, I'm seeing it now in my mind's eye. The tarot card of the Six of Pentacles is exactly that. What you put out, you should receive. If you don't, then there is a disruption there, and it has to be addressed. Real change starts from within. Each time someone refuses to accept being undervalued, they are making a powerful statement that resonates out into the universe. This is how spiritual revolutions begin, not by changing systems from the outside, but by embodying a higher truth in everyday actions, and that starts with me and you. That's exactly where it starts. I am a big Bernie Sanders supporter and fan. I really wish that he could have been president. Really, that's the only leader that ever really gave me real hope. I mean, deep down, you know, hope, because I was looking for an outside leader to make changes in those days. I was not on my spiritual path. So he's a political figure. He speaks to spiritual values of fairness, equality, and justice. He calls for a change at a systemic level but his message is rooted in love and concern for humanity's well-being. While Sanders pushes for political reform, imagine a world where each person also makes heart-centered changes in their own lives, me and you, every day, all day. By recognizing our inherent worth and demanding fair treatment, we are aligning with the spiritual truth that everyone deserves to be respected and valued. The real revolution happens in our hearts. That's where the real revolution that's the powerful revolution. That's the one that can't be stopped. It's collective, it's heart-based, and it's not one leader trying to go up against so many people. It's all of us. Those who benefit at the expense of others will eventually face the energetic consequences of their actions, as the universe is always seeking balance. And that is true for you and I, is true as a whole. You cannot do something and you may think you've gotten away with doing something, with ill intent, and time may go by, and usually I think when it comes back to bite us, we don't know that what it's from, right? We're just thinking, oh, we having a bad week, or why me? Why is this? But you're not remembering something you did. You kind of build up some karma along the way. Something you did in the past is just like, it's going to come back. It will come back to get you where you least expected and where it's needed most to teach you a lesson. It's not a punishment, In fact, I really dreaded to go over this part, because anytime I even sense that someone's getting karma, it could be even someone that has done something to me or said something about me, and I know it because I can feel it. Even if I don't hear it, I feel it. I feel when something's being said about me. So sometimes you'll feel like annoyed at it. But if it's a karma situation, I would ask God, please just forgive them, give them a free pass. Or I don't really it doesn't sit well with me. I struggle with the whole notion of karma. It's not my choice. I'm not the one, I'm not the creator. It's not my system put in place. However, it does teach us lessons, even my own. It's been painful at times, but I learned, and I would even now, I'm so much on a spiritual path, I can kind of pinpoint why this is coming back around to me, and then I take it. Some people don't want to take accountability. I do. I take accountability. I try to right my wrongs. I try to do things better and learn from my past mistakes, and then don't have any ill intentions toward anyone. Again, even karma, where someone may have wronged me, I don't want to see their downfall. All I ask is that their hearts be changed. All I ask is that they become a better, just, fair person, a more loving person. Is that too much to ask at the end of the day? But no, I don't want anyone to experience pain, even if they have dealt me pain. It's not in my heart. So, but it is something that happens. So businesses that are unfair, unjust, they won't continue. They just won't. There's a new day. So while this stuff has going on, you may wonder, well, why now? We are changing. The world is changing. Gaia is changing. Everything is changing. Where, if you notice lately, you've never in your life seen so many people have to pay for their trespasses against others. You've seen it all over the news. You can't miss it. It's happening. People, karma is real, and people are going to have to start living in a better way. The paradigm is going to have to shift here. Know your spiritual value. Oh, I'm sorry. The more people embody heart-based living, the less power those who exploit will have. Universal energy always flows where there is love, truth, and justice. When leaders act from love and fairness, they invite more abundance and success into their own lives. So that's the flip side of it. You'll grow and prosper. It's just like in our everyday lives. The more you live in a heart-based way, the more that you seek paths of love, deal with others in love, make decisions based on love, the more you are rewarded in life. You start to flourish. Things around you start to flourish. Opportunities and doors open for you. Same thing with these businesses, the leaders of these empires. If they were to use their resources and their advantages and opportunities and blessings to bless others, they would be more blessed in ways. And yeah, they're already blessed financially, but how many of them are really happy? How many of them have a full heart? How many of them are really living a life well lived? Those blessings are still out there for them to be had as well. Okay, so empowerment through spiritual self-worth. Each person is a divine being with unique gifts and energy. When we undervalue ourselves, we block the flow of love and abundance that is meant for us. Claiming our value is not an act of ego, it's an act of spiritual integrity. Yes, you can big up yourself. You can pat yourself on the back, especially when no one else is doing it. Whether that be at home in your family or at work, your in quotes boss, and I say in quotes because we don't have a boss, but the person is considered, your seniority. I don't even like any of those words. We're going to do away with all of that. It's been done. It's been played out forever, but now it's sickening to even say someone is your boss or your senior. There is no such thing. We are all equal. But so if you're not getting your recognition at work, recognize yourself. You did a good job. No one else says it. Nobody else recognizes it. It doesn't mean that you have a big ego. It just means that you are... Self-love is spiritual. It's an act of self-love. And you have to love yourself. You have to. It should come from you more than from anyone outside of you. And that's where you'll start to feel empowered to stand up for yourself in everyday instances. And when you give off that energy, others that come at you know to treat you with respect. Whether that's in a relationship, a romantic one, whether that's with your children, whether it's with your parents, whether it's with your colleagues, the people at work, your overseer, or whatever, the management, they will. I know because I've tested it. I have been that person that came in as a new person, and it was like, especially because I smile a lot, and even before I was on my spiritual path, I always had a big heart, and I was very welcoming. But sometimes people can see that as a weakness or mistake that for you being someone they can walk all over. So I'll quickly notice when someone thinks that, or when they assume that. When some people don't. There are those that are so sweet and kind. They appreciate that you're sweet and kind. But there are a few that will try you, and then it's up to you to put up that firm kind of like boundary. Do not cross, let them know, yes, I'm sweet, but I'll protect myself. I'm someone who knows about self-love and self-worth. And they start to change. They know, oh, okay, well, I better not go that way with that mess and that nonsense. Yeah. And if you figure, well, what if my boss fires me? Or what if God will not let you walk in self-love. Again, you're not being disrespectful to anyone else. You're not talking out of turn to anyone else. But, you're just standing up for yourself. Hey, I did a good job on that report last week, didn't I? Because they didn't say anything. I've been in that situation too, where everyone came back from a big meeting that I worked the night before on. I did the presentation. and everybody's all high-fiving, let's go out to drink and let's go out to, enjoy our little triumph, our triumphant moment. And then I was just like a, admin, just there doing more work, not recognized, not surely not paid like they were for it. So yeah, the person I am now would have definitely said, I didn't think it was my place. Imagine that. My work, but I didn't think it was my place to say anything. That's got to change. Okay, yeah. Heart-based leadership is rooted in empathy. Leaders who understand the emotional and energetic needs of their employees will create environments where everyone thrives. When people feel valued, they are more creative, engaged, and productive. Of course, that makes sense. That's a no-brainer. Businesses that prioritize love, empathy, and respect will outlast those that operate from fear and control. That's going to be for everything now. That's going to be for marriages. That's going to be for if you want a long, loving, lasting relationship with your children. It cannot be based on fear and control. It's going to have to come from love, respect, respecting boundaries, and just wanting abundance for everyone. It's going to have to be that way. The old ways of doing business are crumbling because they are not sustainable. The future belongs to those who lead from the heart. Yeah, so speaking up, I'm just speaking of some ways, some daily ways that you can stand up for yourself or create a paradigm shift, create change of expectations. It's going to take steps. It's going to, be something where one thing leads to another, leads to another. That's how revolutions happen. Things don't happen overnight, but surely they're going to go in the right way finally, once and for all. So speaking up when you see something unfair happen, maybe even that doesn't even involve you. It could be a coworker, and you think that they're being mistreated or yeah, I'm thinking of another, just keep thinking of life instances in the workplace where I was working for a company and I was actually in management, and I didn't like how the employees were treated. I didn't like, and I would speak up for them on their behalf. But management, other, colleagues didn't like that. Upper management certainly didn't like it. And I was even told, instead of it being a culture where, oh, let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear what they have to say. Let's take it into account. Let's make life better for them. Oh, no, went in the opposite direction. I started getting messages from the uppers that it's not taken kindly that I consort with them, that I'm having lunch with them, that I'm having break time with them, that it sends the message of some crap. I left, as other jobs that I've had to leave along the way, when it was overstepping my morals, my integrity. And I know that's not something everybody could do. I did not have children at the time. And it's not something, I realized that. So I'm not saying like, oh, just walk away. And I'm just giving you examples of how unfair, even when you are in management and you try to make recommendations, you try to make changes, it's not easy. The change is not, they're not going to just hand over power easily to you. There has to be some convincing or something. There has to be something in it for them where they can't, how can I put it? It has to be that leaders are put in a place, and that's going to come from the divine. Thank the Lord, more so than us, but we're going to help and work and co-create with the divine to create the atmosphere where the change is inevitable. So they're going to get it from this end, the divine, and we're going to be on this end. And we're going to come until they can't move, until making change is inevitable. So that's where we're headed. Again, so it's like, as beloved, so as above, so below, they say, as within and without. It seems like this is the theme for relationships too, and this is not a relationship video per se. However, I will say that there have been dynamics that have gone on for a long time in relationships, and it's no longer, you're going to see, you can't have the control won't work anymore. What used to work is not going to work anymore. You're not going to be able to just sustain the relationship the way you have been doing it. Your spouse is going to require more. The divine is waking them up to require more from you. And if you can't step up, if you can't be that loving partner, then it's going to be where you just fall away from their life. Again, the divine is going to come in. So changes will have to be made, and then the person's awakening or changes come in where you have to either adjust, you know what I mean? You can't move, you have to adjust, or this person's going to fall away so that they can go towards somebody that does deserve and love them. And it's just how it is. Even if they don't want to, I'm telling you this, even if they don't want to, it's going to happen. Like, they may want to stay where it's comfortable. They may want to stay where it's safe. They may want to stay where they think they can't have better, but the divine will work until you don't have a choice but to take that risk, go out on your own, try something different. It's just going, this is what I'm feeling is coming toward us. And I am speaking after getting guidance. This is not just like my ideas. I wish I was this brilliant. I'm actually getting downloads. I'm actually getting told to tell the people, to whoever is going to listen. And I'm not the only one. There will be others that speak up. I hope many of you will speak up. Well, whether it's through a podcast or a YouTube video, or maybe in church, or wherever you are, your friends, whatever level you are, just start to embrace the change, speak the change, live the change, because you'll be, I don't want to say ahead of people, because we all want to lift everyone up. We all want to like kind of reach that, that place of harmony, abundance, peace, and love and prosperity equally. So, but what I want to say is make it less of a turmoil or a struggle for yourself, because the ones that don't embrace the change, unfortunately, will struggle and they will experience discomfort. And that's putting it mildly, because this is what the divine wants, these changes. So that's all I have to say for this now. I will come back more as we move forward with our paths, with our light work, as I get more downloads in different areas. It won't always be about the workplace. It'll sometimes be about relationships. Sometimes it'll be about, I have no idea. I'm just being guided here. I can't tell you what will be next. But thank you for listening. And I love you. Send lots of love to everyone, because that is what it is all about. And bye for now.